Alright y'all, kind of continuing on from our last video. I did go ahead and change that spring on the clutch. I couldn't find my 800-pound one, so I did find a stock one, but proof of concept that it does work. So I don't know what happened to that spring. I don't know if I let somebody have it or if I used it on something else, but it's not in the usual spots, so I'm just going to order another one. It's like 25 bucks for one plus shipping, so I'll get one ordered, get it coming. We'll get it changed out to the red spring, which should be more than what this thing needs, being it's just the stock motor. So now we're going to move on to the steering. So get turned around here and I'll show you what we're going to do with the steering. Alright y'all, originally I had planned on bringing the steering shaft up through this side here, but with that fan gear it'll actually interfere with our new clutch arm we made down there. So, but if I move it over to this side, move it this way, go that way, that fan gear will, let me get over here, that fan gear will bypass that clutch arm, everything, and we'll just have to make it dog leg to the left instead of the right. No big deal. So I'm going to grab the gearbox and you know, the steering gear and kind of hold it up in here, and we'll look at it and see what we need to do to get her in here. Alright y'all, kind of got the gearbox, steering box set into place. If I drop it 1 3/8, that arm, when it swings back, will miss that. You know, it stops before it hits the steering box. These are straight down from the original mounting holes, and if I mount it flush with the frame, which just means making a couple plates to mount to the inside of the frame there, drop them down, you know, 1 3/8 or 1 3/8, put a couple bolts through it, I think we'll be pretty good. We're going to have a little bit of clearance here on the, I just got this zip tied in place here. We'll have a look because the gearbox is kind of turned this way a little, just a hair. We'll have about a roughly 1/4, 3/8 of an inch clearance between the drive shaft and the steering column, and that moved it over about 1 inch. So yeah, the only thing is on the steering, this hole is dead center, and that's where this bearing here mounts. So if we come, you know, dead center from this hole, that steering shaft to be right there. I don't know, I mean, I probably could live with it. I'd probably end up ordering a flange bearing, a 4-bolt flange bearing, and or 2-bolt, yeah, 4-bolt flange bearing, and just drilling through here and putting bolts in it and mounting it that way and doing away with this one, or possibly turning this one if I can get it turned enough to, you know, mount it up, or make a new plate for on it. Don't know yet, but I'm going to make up plates to mount these, to mount that down there. I don't know how well you guys can see down in there, right there, those two, the holes up here at the top, and then the holes, those are the holes that mount the box, or in the box. Those are the holes that are in the frame. I just need to make a plate up to go in there, and we can get this thing bolted in, and this shaft will be standing up a lot straighter than what it is now. So but yeah, and then down on the steering on the bottom, let me grab my light. You can see kind of how this joint here is facing up. If we take this off, I'm hoping, and flip it over on the bottom, that'll drop us down below the clutch arm, everything, and should come back. We might have to make a little extension or put a little bend in this shaft here to kind of bend it up a little bit, but I think, you know, it'll clear, I think. So won't know until we get there. There is some extra room on this bolt here. You know, if we have to come down, you know, we can come down, well, almost a ½ inch, you know, lower to get the angle to miss this throwout arm. So it's starting to come together. So I'm gonna go over and fabricate up these plates. The one on this side has to come down 1 3/8 and in 1 inch. So no big deal on that. I think I've got some 1 inch square tubing. We can cut a piece of that and tack weld it in and then drill it, and we'll be good to go. So alright, I'm gonna get those brackets made up and we'll bring you guys back whenever we get that done.
I don't think we're gonna be out in the garage working tonight, y'all. I had to stay over and work on the old Silverado. We lost a fuel line, or started leaking. It wasn't like gushing, it was dripping. But by the time we got that done, got home, got dinner cooking, yeah, we're under a tornado warning, and the lightning and everything's getting heavier. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but yeah, she's starting to roll in, so we're not heading out to the garage tonight to work. So, alright, we'll get after her tomorrow.
Alright, y'all, it's another day. It's actually nice and sunny out today. A lot better than what we had yesterday. So I did get the brackets made to drop the steering gear down. You can see this is off the right side, and it'll actually go on this way. So, you know, use the stock existing holes and drop it down. And same thing on this side here. We got the spacer made up, and she'll bolt on and hopefully be where we need it to be. So let me get this stuff installed, and I'll give you guys a look to see what we come up with at the end. Also, y'all, I kind of wanted to point out too that this is how, you know, if you're looking at the frame itself, this is how the steering gear was mounted, like that. When we go to mount it, it'll actually be this way. So it'll actually move this pivot, or the mount hole, back, well, probably 1 inch. You know, if we go from here to here, that's probably 1 inch back. So that'll help us, give us more clearance on the steering arm there, or the clutch arm, for the clutch arm to swing. So that's a plus. So I just thought that was interesting. Thought you guys find it interesting. Maybe you don't find any of this interesting. I don't know. I'm just doing it. So anyways, I'm gonna get this and get these mounted up now, and we'll show you what we come up with. Alright, y'all, we got that steering gear all mounted in there, and see, we've got about a 1/4 inch clearance. That should be plenty. We can still move the shaft, move the box around, because we're gonna have to get it lined up for the steering column, but it does move. So next thing is we need to take this joint off of here, tie rod, flip it around, run it back up so we can clearance under here. But I think right now the tires are straight, the steering gear is straight, like halfway, and I don't know if you guys can tell, yeah, we're gonna be a couple inches shy. So we're probably gonna have to cut this rod here and lengthen it out, but that's no big deal. I've done it on the Cub Cadets when we move the front ends forward. So I guess I'll see if I can get this nut off the bottom here and get it off there, flip it around, and then that'll be able to tell us if we're actually going to clear here or if we're going to have to do something different. So, alright, yeah, I'll get on that and bring you guys back. Alright, y'all, I got that nut off there. Come off real easy, but you guys can see it won't pop up out of there, and the only way to get that out of there is to take the arm off here, right here, right there. The only way to get that arm off is to pull that cotter pin and pop that pin up out of this pivot right here. And the only way to do that is go down in here behind the motor, but there's not enough clearance between the bottom of the motor and the air housing to get the pin out. So you have to pull the motor. We're not pulling the motor. I was thinking about upgrading these old ball joints, tie rod ends, whatever you want to call them. I guess they're tie rod ends, not ball joints, but anyways, upgrade them to a Heim style joint. And so I think we're just going to go in there and take the Sawzall and zip that off and get that out of there. And we'll get 2 Heim joints and some all thread, or hopefully I can get it on the same size thread that's on the rod now down there, and that way they'll thread right on there. But I don't have those. I can't get them locally. I know I've already looked for them for other projects, and so I'm gonna have to order them online, and that's gonna take a few days. So yeah, so it's not gonna happen in this video. So I think we're going to end the video here, and then we'll pick up with doing the steering linkage, and I guess we'll possibly trim that rod there in the next video, finalize the drive line, get the carrier bearing and everything put in. We got to figure out something to do for brakes. I don't think we're going to tie them into the pedal. I think we're just going to do a handbrake, which will be fairly easy, no big deal. Yeah, we're moving right along and all. I don't know if I did say in the video or not, I did order a red clutch spring from Midwest Super Cub. Great company. I ordered it like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it had shipped by close of business that same day. So can't say that about many companies nowadays, that they're that up on shipping. So it'll be here probably tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, Friday or Saturday. I gotta look at the tracking. It was on its way, so it's priority shipping, so through the U.S. Postal Service. So hopefully nothing goes wrong and it gets here. So, but yeah, we got her all set up here so far, and I guess we'll possibly work on getting the dash panel in there too. So, because we're gonna have to move the hole for the steering shaft to go through and figure out how we're gonna mount it. So, anyways, I'm rambling. That's gonna be it. All right, I lied. It's not the end of the video. This is probably gonna be the end of the video. Got that joint cut off there, that stud, and we got it just kind of stuck in the hole and kind of propped up to where it might be. And you can see there, we're only an inch, maybe half inch short, which we might be able to get the adjustment out of that rod, but it all depends on how long the Heim joints are, you know, the threaded part of those. So we might get kind of tricky, put a bend in this rod here, you know, back here, kind of get it to drop down and then come forward, or we may try to go real trick and extend this arm down. The only drawback on that is the longer that gets, the more touchy the steering gets. So More than likely I'll probably leave it where it's at and just put a bend in that. Put a bend in this rod here to get it, we still got a good 1/2 inch clearance, but as this comes forward it's going to go up a little higher, so we might get close to that clutch rod. So yeah, probably a bend in it would be most advisable. So yeah, or we could possibly space this down even further, get some more clearance out of it, but all that'll have to be determined by when we get the heim joints. So alright, I'm gonna get that thing tore apart, get some measurements on it, and see if I can't get online and find us a heim, so, or two. We need 2 of them. So alright, that'll now I think the end of the video. Alright y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I did get the rod ends off that rod. They're not, they're both right-handed, so I went online and ordered a pair of heim joints that are both right-handed. They're 7/16 by 20. No big deal. They'll be here in a couple of days, so we can go ahead and get that all hooked up. So yeah, the next thing I think we're gonna do is we'll finalize the drive line, the clutch and everything, because that spring will be here. So we'll get that tore apart. I may video it, taking it apart, putting a new spring on it. Yeah, we got that. Just basically button driveline stuff up. So get the steering hooked up, get that driveline in there permanently, and then we can move on to probably the exhaust and wiring. Or I'm sorry, we got to do the dash panel, dashboard, dash tower, steering tower, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have to move that, move it over roughly an inch, 1.25 inches. No big deal really. There's a pretty good size hole in there now where the bearing mounts to on the back side. We can take the tin cover off the top of it, round the hole out a little bigger, just make us a new tin cover to go over top of it, and we'll be golden. So lots of little things going on yet. So the other big thing is wheelie bars. We got to come up with some kind of a wheelie bar setup, and along with that exhaust. Yeah, the exhaust is probably gonna be the last thing I do. I can run it with the exhaust that's on it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. But yeah, so little things, lots of little things. So appreciate you all watching. If you would, go down there and hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying this series, and even if you're not, give me a thumbs up anyways. I deserve it. So anyways, thanks you all for watching again, and catch you all in the next one.